Once upon a time, there was the kindergarten of Ban Ban. Let's create Jumbo Josh while we are listening to the background story and learning about the truth. Miss Mason and Mr. Adam were the proud owners and operators of a successful kindergarten. They had a passion for teaching and loved nothing more than watching their little students learn and grow. One day, Miss Mason and Mr. Adam decided to try their hand at creating their own creatures to use as educational tools in their classrooms. They spent countless hours designing and building these creatures, and soon they had a whole menagerie of adorable interactive creatures for the children to play with and to learn from. Before we continue with our background story on Jumbo Josh, some short commentary on the creation itself. You have seen I used aluminum wire and foil to create a lightweight skeleton, then coated with clay. This is oven hardening clay, and we can do some amazing stuff with it once it is hardened. And we are now focusing on some beautiful details, on some tiny elements like the horrifying mouth, which is only eating vegetables and fruits, and also the eyes. I'm mixing a very dark fleshy color, which matches the creature's skin color. This is the reason why I threw in some green as well. Here we have the gums, which will be decorated with some beautiful teeth. For the teeth itself, I'm taking translucent clay. So what is translucent clay? Well, the name gives away everything. It gets slightly transparent after oven hardening. And now we add some tiny dents and some lines to it that it actually looks like real teeth. For the eyes, we also have some fleshy color inside. I threw in a little bit more red for this bloodish look. And these eyeballs, well, it's the exact same translucent clay. And with these tiny holes, we can now work and create a realistic looking iris. First of all, we create the outline with brown, and we will also draw some tiny black stripes into it and the dark hole right in the middle, adding some veins. And then, as the last working step for the eye, we are filling the hole with liquid clay. This one also gets transparent after oven hardening, and with some shiny polish after oven hardening, we will get the most horrifying, amazing eye ever. The teeth, well, we just stick them into the gums, and you can already notice they are pre-baked, they are somehow translucent, and by adding some more veins, we are preparing the area for the eyes, so that the eyes can really pop out. I want the monster to be adapted to its environment, and later when we continue with the story, you will know what this means. So the eyes are popping out that he can see better in the darkness of his new environment. Now we have some acrylic paint together with the liquid clay to make the teeth a little bit more dirty. And now let's continue with our background. One of these creatures was a massive and strong creature which lived in the kindergarten's garden of vegetables and fruits, and it was named Jumbo Josh. Jumbo Josh was designed to teach children about the importance of healthy eating, and it would often force the children to eat fruits and vegetables. However, as time passed, Miss Mason and Mr. Adam began to realize that their creatures were becoming increasingly difficult to control. They would often malfunction or behave in unexpected ways, causing chaos in the classrooms. Despite their best efforts, the two educators were unable to fix the problem, and they began to feel overwhelmed and stressed by their creation. On one tragic day, Jumbo Josh was teaching a group of children about the benefits of eating broccoli. One of the children began to choke a piece of the vegetable. Despite Jumbo Josh's best efforts to save the child tragically died. The two kindergarten teachers locked the creatures away in the basement, knowing this was the right way to protect the children. But then, on another fateful day, a child had just harvested a basket of fruits and visited the creatures in the basement and shouted proudly to Jumbo Josh. He gave the child a hearty pat on the back for its work, but then, in its impatience, it clumsily threw the child against the wall and killed him instantly. We will continue with the last part of our story, but I wanted to explain some of the stuff which I'm creating right now. This is the basement environment where the creature is living. And we are adding some bloody details to it. First of all, I started with some wooden planks to create the base layer. And now, after having added some acrylic paint and some bloody details, we switch over to clay again. Because this is what makes the environment, the landscape alive, and this is also the thing which the game Garden of Banban itself lacks. Many people complained that there are almost no decorational elements and that the creatures and the rooms are heartless. We will change this. We will add a lot of vivid details and elements to our creation. And now, with two different tones of brown, we created, together with this texture of this fabric, realistic looking mud. We have some wooden planks, which are the frame of this muddy spot. And now, and Jumbo Josh will be proud of us, we are working on some beautiful salad, which we can stick into the ground, which we can stick into the mud, and also maybe some very tiny ones. The salad was not enough. We will now add some tomatoes to our diorama. Maybe they are also growing down there in the basement, and Jumbo Josh is taking care of them. And I really loved the idea that the monster is a friendly one, but a very clumsy one. So it tries to convince the children to eat healthy fruits and vegetables, but then by accident, well, kills them. And maybe just sticks some carrot down their throats. Who knows? The clay part is finished. Let's put this into the oven. Freshly baked vegetables. We are coloring the wooden planks and can now place it into our diorama in the basement. We can now also hang the tomatoes. And while I'm finishing the decorational elements, let's continue listening to the story. Miss Mason and Mr. Adam were horrified and knew they had to act fast to protect the children. They tried to lock the monsters away in the basement. They quickly gathered the children and fled the kindergarten. leaving their beloved creatures behind. But their own creatures, still loving the children, turned against them, chased away the two teachers to take care of the children themselves. Only Jumbo Josh stayed at his hiding place in the basement. He began to grow his own fruits and vegetables. He would spend hours tending to his garden, nurturing the plants and caring for them as if they were his own children. Jumbo Josh never forgot about the child he had unintentionally killed. Well, both of them. And the pain he had caused. He lived the rest of his days alone in the basement, tending to his garden and always remembering the tragic mistake that had changed his life forever. Forever.